afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the balcony here at First Presbyterian Church in Evansville, Indiana. It's a thrill and delight to have you join me for our Thursday concert at noon. Today we're going to take a trip, for me, down memory lane. When I was a teenager, almost exactly 30 years ago, the tender age of 17, I learnt a whole bunch of organ music for my grade 7 or 8 organ exam, and I played a concerto by Vivaldi for 2 violins, arranged by Bach for the organ, and I also played a wonderful piece by Herbert Howells, which I had really adored when I was a chorister. This music sounded incredible at Westminster Abbey on the very, very grand 5-manual Harrison and Harrison, played by the likes of Harry Bickett and Simon Preston. But first, Vivaldi. As I mentioned, Vivaldi wrote this music actually when he was quite young, and it really took the rest of Europe by storm when it was first spread about. The North Germans, and Bach in particular, and his contemporaries absolutely loved this stuff, and they made all kinds of arrangements of music from Italy. And it then influenced their own composition and writing. In particular, with Bach, we can see how he arranged pieces, say that Vivaldi had written for violin or oboe, for the harpsichord, and then when he came to write his own harpsichord concertos, there was a very clear path of development from what he had learned from transcribing the music of other composers. So the A minor concerto for 2 violins is in 3 movements, essentially a fast movement, a slow movement, and a fast movement. Bach had to make various concessions, particularly in the last movement, as to how the texture was going to work. And he actually sort of rewrote a few passages towards the beginning of the last movement in particular, to kind of make it work on a keyboard instrument and with the pedals. So without further ado, here is Bach's arrangement of Vivaldi's concerto in A minor for 2 violins. So I hope you enjoyed that, though in A minor, very, very sunny music. You can see how that took the northern part of Europe absolutely by storm. And one of my first exposures to that music was in a recording made by my choirmaster, Simon Preston. And I just remember how absolutely viscerally exciting his playing was. Nowadays, I guess some parts of it might seem dated in terms of give and take, and we play with a little bit more rubato perhaps these days, but there's absolutely no denying his absolute mastery, skill, and just sheer technical brilliance of Mr. Preston. So another piece I remember from my days as a chorister is going to be the final piece on our programme. I absolutely adored the music, and still do to this day, of Robert Nicholls, and I've played some of his other pieces here on our Thursday lunchtimes, and also during my career here over the last 25 years at First Pres in Evansville on our beautiful Fisk organ. It's really very adaptable stuff, and though it doesn't sound exactly like it would in Gloucester Cathedral or Worcester or on a massive romantic instrument, I still think it's very exciting stuff, and I love the way Howells mixes modality and harmony, and there's all sorts of give and take and beauty, particularly in the softer sections in the rubatos. So this is the last of 6 pieces, completed in May 1940, and it's a piece called Paean, or an outburst of joy. It's mainly in the key of D minor, but as you'll hear, we venture quite far afield during the course of the piece. There are spectacular outbursts for festival trumpets and a little motif of rhythm, ba-bum-bum-ba, which appears after a couple of pages and which eventually takes on a life of its own and infuses the entire rest of the piece, along with lots and lots of little notes. So anyway, Robert Nicholls' Paean. thanks again for joining us here at First Pres. A big thank you to my daughter Elena for turning pages and pulling stops. She will be back at school next week and I'll be all alone again here on Thursday lunchtimes. But do hope you've enjoyed today's concert, and I look forward to seeing you in worship services on Sunday at 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. in person or online, and back here next Thursday lunchtime. Take care. Bye-bye.